Wow. You know, I failed to mention, the quality of the sermon is also dependent upon the quality of the questions. So you all have, wow, okay, here we go. How many, it is ask me anything, not ask me sort of something. Okay, so how many tattoos do you have? 0. It's an easy answer. I have none. Which makes the second half of the question irrelevant. I have to say, though, it's kind of this is one of those cultural questions where things have shifted, and I actually get this question usually from parents worrying about their teenage kids from time to time, like, is something really bad going to happen if my kid has a tattoo? And the answer is no. In the Old Testament days, where we read, or even New Testament too, whereas the Scripture says, "Don't make marks on yourself," sort of like this. In biblical times, tattoos had like religious significance, cult significance, and so it would be a mark, not only as a mark, but it would also sort of frequently signify your allegiance, faith-wise, with something that was not Christian. And so it's a much more loaded conversation in our times than perhaps it is today. Although that still goes on today to some degree, but you know, it's just when we see an athlete, for example, with "I love mom," you know, tattooed on their forearm, that's really not biblically what the Bible was talking about when it says don't get for yourself a tattoo. I will also say this, though, in that sometimes I think a bit of practical advice is in order, in the sense that it always amazes me that people usually consider getting a tattoo when they are very young and they are very attractive. And newsflash, that changes. And I remember, this is a true story from one particular congregant in a church past. She decided that she was going to get a tattoo on her belly button, which she did. And then a couple years later, she got pregnant. And let's just say the rays of the sun took a different path after that experience than they did before. So on a practical side, I would say, boy, I would give it like a second, third, or fourth, or fifth thought. But I think it is one of those things, and that scripturally, I think the Bible was in a little bit different place and came from a little bit heavier agenda than maybe so it does today. I mean, when we watch the Rockets beat Minnesota later today, just because those guys have tattoos on doesn't mean they're infidels or something. All right. Question number 2. You know, probably in Houston, the more you tie something to the Rockets, the more people will listen. That's a great preaching thought, and I'm going to hold on to that.